We like old adverts.
Welcome to We Like Old Adverts. We Like Old Adverts. It's as simple as that. I'm Jim. I'm with Connell and Joe as usual. And we have a guest today, Jay Foreman. So we're going to dive straight in. Hey, Jay. How you doing?
Hi.
Thank you very much for joining us on We Like Old Adverts. I know you're very excited to get stuck into this as a concept. So you've brought something to the table and we're going to put that on first. So here we go.
Got what it takes, my wife. Got friends round. Got roast pork for lunch. Plenty of taste, British folk. Real value for money. Fred's got plenty. Arthur's got plenty. We've all got plenty. Plenty to go round. My wife's got what it takes.
British pork. What's it got? It's got the lot.
Got pork for lunch on Sunday?
The first thing that comes to mind when I watch that advert is, it's not pork. He's done something.
It really does. Like the way that meat only looks in adverts from the past. It's so threatening. The man has such a sort of League of Gentlemen quality, isn't it?
Yeah.
You never see all of his eyes. He's like that.
Also, I think, Jim, that's the first time that I've watched that advert with headphones on, which completely changes it. Because when you watch that advert without headphones, you hear, instead of like the gentle clutter of people sort of chattering, there's a horrible stony silence. And the only noise is the really awkward, quiet clattering of cutlery. And no one is smiling. The only person smiling is that kid. Even the guy who's hosting the dinner party. Like, he's angry. He's so angry with everybody.
Hosting a Sunday lunch dinner party as well, which is weird for one thing. But also, there is something about him doing his piece to camera that has a sort of, almost Frank Underwood from House of Cards feeling. It's not, in an advert, that should be an inviting thing. You should be in on a little secret with a person that can talk to you through the camera. This guy is threatening you about pork.
The whole thing is not very inviting, though. The room that they're in, like all
clothes,
brown decor with like very dull patterns and hard wood surfaces, and like.
Well, that was the height of fashion in 1984.
Well, I would like to take this opportunity, after seeing that advert, to apologise on behalf of Northern people everywhere. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
First
that
we had the Beatles, and then we had pork. There's plenty going around. He's got loads. What's your problem? All right, what have I done?
I love how defensive that guy is. He's like, they've all got plenty to go around.
My wife, she's like no one else.
All right, what did his wife do? She's just sat there looking really sort of
quivering
embarrassed.
little like.
I don't know where that.
All right, Arthur.
There's a lovely still of her just pouring gravy in with a like wild look in her eyes, like
pouring too much.
Filling the plate.
It's a bit when he's doing that thing that kind of aggressive alpha male men do, where they go around commenting on what everyone's doing.
It sounds like what must have happened is the last time they had Sunday roast, there wasn't enough, and this time he's got something to prove.
He's brought a bag of pork scratchy and said, there's not enough for this family. And I like the plate at the end where it says British pork, it's all you'll ever need. I like there's such little nutritional value on that plate. There's some pork, some grey potatoes, and like a little bit of broccoli looking around the side of the pork. Like, oh God, no wonder everyone died of like hard arteries.
This is a problem with all adverts. Every time you have to advertise something that really should be taken with other things, you have to show the other things to show that you're not crazy, but you don't want to give them too much prominence. So like, an advert for breakfast cereal, by all means, show some milk, but don't make the milk look too delicious.
Yeah,
quite.
I mean, presumably as well. This is in the age when British food was a sort of joke around the world, wasn't it? But presumably, like food artists existed at the time in advertising as well, where they would make the things look better. So that's been touched up. Like that's not even representing quite how grim the reality would have been. Joe, you're doing the buttons, so cue us up.
Some things are worth paying a little more for, like Lurpak butter. Made from a delicious blend of the finest creams, only Lurpak has that fresh, smooth, sophisticated... I said sophisticated. You'll get it back after the commercial, Douglas. Pure, creamy Lurpak. It's a matter of taste.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that
It's a bit
blast
too
from the
good.
past?
Yeah.
It was great, wasn't it? Clearly an Aardman
Yeah.
creation, and I would say probably their best work, given the amount of time they had to do that in. Like,
Do you mean their best advert or their best work including
their best
Chicken
work,
Run?
including Chicken Run? Yeah. I dated someone once. She was very intelligent and just very talented, and her favourite movie was Chicken Run, and it never made sense. And I think
And that's
about
why
it
you
whenever I
stopped
think
going
of
out with her.
no, it wasn't that way around. But anyway, it's really good, right? The animation for that, that's from the sort of early to mid '80s, and that looks fantastic.
The animation's great. The writing's it's really funny. Like there's so many gags in 30 seconds. That's really it's a bit too good. It's made me angry.
I do feel like if you've got a little man made of butter, don't let him have center stage rather than like stick a glass on him. That voiceover lady, I think she's just jealous of Douglas, if I'm completely honest.
Hey, that's Penelope Keith from The Good Life.
Yes.
Do you think Penelope Keith is the only person who thinks that she is the star of that advert and she's genuinely annoyed at the presence of the little butter man?
Yeah. Maybe.
There's better ways to get rid of a butterman, though. Go to jail for murdering a butterman.
He's extremely vulnerable, and she's actually being really quite gentle with him. She wants to keep him alive.
All you've got to do is turn your heating up.
Yeah.
You don't even have to. All you've done is press the button, and then you're like, just watch him melt.
Maybe that's the idea of the glass, though. That gradually, like he will just
his own breath is going to melt his body.
And also, considering he's made of butter, it's strange that the mischief he wants to cause is he wants to play the flight of the bumblebee. You'd imagine a man made of butter wants to smear things in butter. That's butter's reason for being.
Unless his butter physiology has taught us anything, he's got like butter lungs because he can. How deep does this go? I mean, is it butter all through? Is he butter heart? Butter
if you
blood?
look at it though, there's the physics in the advert is a bit skew-if, so no one really knows what the science is because it kicks a raspberry and it's made out of steel.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going on in that little butter world?
Maybe actually. Maybe that's a butter Penelope Keith as well. She's not bothered about him being made of butter.
But in this universe where everyone's made of butter, the last thing they need to buy is Lurpak.
Yeah.
But I love that they say Lurpak is made from the freshest cream or whatever it is. It's like, it's butter, isn't it? That's how you make butter.
Yeah.
I love it when adverts do that. They advertise what the thing is as if that's like sets it apart.
This was before the days. This is before when adverts now all have, we think such and such and such, and that's why we make our product as good as... No, it isn't.
Yeah.
We love breakfast. That's why we work extra hard to make our cereal slightly bigger than the other. It's not because you love breakfast, it's because it's your job.
Yeah, exactly.
I think my advert's from the 90s. I think.
Good morning, children.
Good morning, miss.
Full moon.
Full moon.
Half moon.
Half moon.
Total eclipse.
Total eclipse.
Good. Now, let's do it one more time. Full moon.
Full moon.
McVitie's Jaffa Cakes. Deliciously self-centered.
Now, there's a lot of things in that bear a lot of questions, but the bit for me that bears the biggest question is why is there a creepy mafioso type at the back of the room in one little bit?
Hang on, what?
Is he from Ofsted, or is it the
He might
is that
be.
the headmaster looking through the door?
I like that he's from Ofsted. I think that's a much better.
That's a lovely extra detail, because here's the thing, this advert would already be brilliant if it was a teacher doing that, but these loads of extra little details, they didn't have to do any of these, but they did. The kids are bored. English is not her first language. She's being watched. All three of those things make it so much better, and they didn't have to be there.
Yeah.
She's dressed like she's about to go on a night out.
Yeah.
Kids. Yeah.
And a really, really 90s night out, the sort of night out that would happen in like Game On. Not Game On because he never went out, but you know what I mean. That's that sort of era of sitcom.
The 90s are showing in the advert, not just because of the fashion, but like the way the camera looks, like they turned the saturation right up. The 90s were way more colourful on TV than they were in real life.
I like that the Jaffa Cake glows at the end because you know what that means. That is reminding you that there's a wicked little bit of like whatever Jaffa is in that cake in the middle. It's like, I'll have a Jaffa Cake. And it comes in a little Pringles tube. Do they still do that?
I've not seen that since.
I haven't seen that for a while,
I mean,
I like how they've lit that up using like a sonar from a submarine as well. It's like, there's a bit of a war element to Jaffa Cakes. I never saw it myself, but now that you've said, they are very a war biscuit or cake, however you want to look at it.
A war cake.
Well, whether it's a biscuit or a cake is the war in question.
Indeed, I suppose so.
I mean, you can say what you like about her. She is teaching them something, though. You know, it's not completely self-serving.
Well, it's a lovely little detail that the kids don't quite pronounce it properly. They say total clips, like they've misheard her. And she can't say half, says half moon. It's almost offensive.
Maybe that day of filming was so nightmarish that they had to just keep in loads of mistakes, including the Ofsted gangster man.
I wouldn't be surprised if that advert was directed by someone who went on to better things, because you can tell that was done by someone who cares.
That's Christopher Nolan, that. Yeah. Right. So for my video, I picked this one specifically for our esteemed guest because it concerns a shared passion of ours.
Oh.
In Paris, they lined up in the streets. In Rome, it was standing room only. In LA and New York, his concerts sold out in an hour. So if you want to see Paul McCartney and his new band, get in line early and get out your Visa card. Because a concert like this doesn't take place every day, and it doesn't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Now, Paul McCartney, his net worth is $1.2 billion. Why is he riding that horse? Why is he taking that paycheck? I mean, it's embarrassing, isn't it?
Maybe it could be worse. At least he wasn't actually in the advert. They were just using concert footage. You know, he might have had someone just sort of forge his signature.
Well, possibly, yeah. If only maybe if he turned the Visa card the other way around, that's where they got it from. But I like the. It's like, do you want to come see this concert? Not really. Did you see what he was wearing? Did you see like those little? Look at my kick.
I did some cool kicks. Like Blink-182 kicks. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
God,
I think you're being quite cynical.
Mighty have fallen with that fella.
I think you're being quite cynical. I think it's perfectly legitimate that he might think that his fans might need a little bit of help in how they decide to book tickets for his show. He wants people to come. Yeah.
Did you notice that towards the end of the advert it says it doesn't take American Express? Like they're mentioning one of their rivals.
Yeah.
And they're not actually explaining why their product is better. They're advertising going to see a concert and here's how you can pay for it. But this doesn't, get you to the front of the queue or anything. It's just, I hate when adverts do that.
It's like the people who've made the advert don't know who Paul McCartney is. Because like everything about it is really, it's almost, you'd think it was for Huey Lewis and the News.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It just couldn't be less like anything to do with him.
And so like he sold out in Paris and there's a woman on roller skates holding a French flag going past the line. Is that stock footage?
And also a woman with a card on it, a sign on it that just says Paul. Like,
that could be any Paul. Could have gone to see the Pope.
So thank you for watching. This has been We Like Old Adverts with our guest, Jay Foreman. Jay, if people want to see more of you, where do they go?
You can find me on Twitter at Jay Foreman, and I've got a YouTube channel, which is Jay Foreman.
Brilliant. So you guys at home, which was your favourite advert? Let us know in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button and like us on Facebook. See you next time.
It's a wrap.